Good afternoon, Rexburg Hustle. We are glad that you are here today with us. Thank you for tuning in. We've got a great show for you today, but we want to just welcome you today and just thank you for being here. We have got a shout out we want to give to our last one of our last guests that we had with Jumpstart. Jumpstart is down in Rigby. They are a basketball group that takes people of all ages, especially the kids, and gives them a place to go in the summertime to learn new skills, train, and just become better all the way around. A very safe place, great coaches that really invest into the benefit of the kids and leave them better than they came. What a great program. Look them up, Jumpstart. They're in Rigby. They have classes right now. They say that things are filling up pretty fast, so you might want to jump on it, but a great place to be. So also today we want to talk to Todd Zollinger. Todd is our guest today. He actually does a lot with Jumpstart, but his own program is the Rexburg United, and we're going to learn about this today and how that kind of intertwines with what they're doing over there in Rigby at Jumpstart. But and first, Todd, tell us about you. How did you come to Rexburg, and what brought you here? And give us a little information about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm here for school. I'm a student at BYU Idaho, and I've had brothers who went to BYU Idaho before me, and they basically suggested that I come to school here.
Sure. Yeah.
And I came here. I met my wife, and we have a son that is 18 months old.
Right.
And
now he's already playing basketball. You were saying that he's already hooping it up in the little basketball thing you got there.
Yeah, we have a tiny little toy hoop in our living room. He just shoots the ball.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
He loves it.
Good.
And I've always had a passion for sports. I've always wanted to work in sports, and that's there's not very many opportunities to necessarily do that here unless it's at the high school level. Until I discovered Rexburg United, which gives me the opportunity to take something and work in sports and kind of take hold of an opportunity that wasn't there before. And we're only 3 years old at Rexburg United, and it's been a great ride, and this is my first year being in charge of it, and I was an assistant the year before, and
sure.
And I'm excited for the upcoming year.
So you didn't start Rexburg United, but you were a part of it, and this is your first year, as you just mentioned, that you're in charge of it.
Correct.
And Rexburg United is an opportunity to take what's not in Rexburg and try to bring it to life again. In other words, back in the day, let's go back and try to not resurrect any bad memories, but
Sure.
the old days of Rick's College, they had a dynamic football, basketball, volleyball, a lot of great sports programs, and some of that obviously is not in existence right now. So you're taking students from campus, from BYU Idaho, creating a team, you're the head coach, you're putting this whole thing together, and you've got a team that you actually travel with and compete against other junior colleges.
Correct, yeah. So a great opportunity that we have here, Steve Craig is the founder of the organization.
Okay.
He saw an opportunity in the sense that junior colleges have this kind of grace period before their conference play starts, before their conference games start, where they can compete against prep and club teams to kind of fill their schedule, as well as teams that aren't in their conference.
Interesting, okay.
So basically he saw this opportunity in the sense that he saw that there were a ton of very talented basketball players on campus, brought them together, and basically went and called these JUCOs, these junior colleges, and said, hey, we have a team. This is our team. We're from what used to be Rick's College.
Yeah.
And this is what we want to do. We want to play games. Do you have a spot in your schedule? And a lot of junior colleges have a lot of scheduling issues to try to get enough games before conference play starts. So that's kind of where our team started.
Interesting. So what you're trying to do is you've got a lot of students that come to BYU Idaho. They've got a great background in sports, basketball specifically is what you're doing, and you're saying let's not let this just go nowhere. Let's take it. Let's run with it. Let's create something with this and bring, in Rexburg we hear a lot about this thing called the spirit of Ricks.
Correct.
Okay? We're not comparing with what's happening today and what you're doing with that. Other than we're saying yes to the idea that you want to create something that brings vibrancy and connection to the college and the community, like what used to be.
Yeah. So a struggle that we've run into is that we haven't had any home games yet. So all our games are played on the road at someone else's place without anywhere to be able to play here in Rexburg.
Let me ask you real quick. Give me some ideas. Where have you been? Where have you played at?
Yeah, for sure. So we played against CSI. We've played against Slick, Salt Lake Community College.
Nice.
We traveled to Central Wyoming, Western Wyoming, Colorado Northwestern.
Wow.
This upcoming year, we're going to Western Nebraska. It's a 9-hour drive.
Amazing.
It's a long ways away. But we've competed in Oregon against Treasure Valley Community College, which is right there on the border between Idaho and Oregon. And so we've played against Utah State Eastern, which is a junior college down in Price, Utah.
Nice.
And Snow College as well.
So the players, yourself, you're dedicated to putting this show together. You want to make this happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is that we'd love to have some home games where we can invite, for example,
that
CSI.
would be great. That would be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Where we can bring, for example, CSI, maybe Snow College or Salt Lake Community College, and have them play here in Rexburg against our team. However, it requires a lot of help from the community in the sense that we need a venue. We need somewhere to play.
Sure.
We don't have our own stadium as much as I'd love to.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
For example, most teams, when they invite teams to come play, they have hotel rooms that they're able to put them up in. And that's how we stay afloat, is because other junior colleges are able to pay for our hotel rooms to come play against them.
Oh, wow.
So they put us up in a hotel. Most teams do. Some teams don't have the budget to do it.
Sure.
But they put us up in a hotel. Sometimes they pay for our post-game meals. But getting there and being able to being able to as well pay for gas, the van rental, we rent a van. All of those things are pretty expensive.
I find that very interesting that some of these other competing colleges help.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's really cool.
There's some top-tier programs in that will actually pay us on top of that to come play against them.
Now, speaking of pay, you are a nonprofit, right?
Correct.
Explain that. How does that work? And I mean, it sounds like whatever you charge, whatever monies come in through this program, you're just reinvesting it back into the program to grow it, pay for it, give you travel expenses.
Absolutely. So all the money that we had last year was used for travel. So basically the van rental and gas. It was used for new uniforms. The old ones we had were pretty bad, so we had to get rid of them. So we had to buy some new uniforms. Yeah. And that was pretty much all the money that we had to be able to use. So there's this big need in the sense that we've had businesses donate to us before, and with that donation, we use it all towards travel, whatever it may be, uniforms. If we had the budget for more money, I'd be able to pay for their players' meals on the road, which they pay for themselves right now. Or I might be able to, this is obviously lofty expectations or hopes, but to be able to pay for scholarships for some guys, to be able to help incentivize them to come to school here, or those who are already at school here, be able to have something that will incentivize them both to play basketball, but also to be able to get a free education doing so.
Now, you mentioned that earlier when we were talking before the show. I'd like to know more about how do you visualize that? How can Rexburg United create a situation where there's opportunity for scholarships? How would that work?
So it would require a lot of support from local businesses.
Okay.
And the biggest thing would be getting home games, so that way the community has something that they're able to invest in, something tangible, something for them to be able to attend, to be able to be a PR opportunity for them as well, where there's going to be a lot of people in attendance. We could have booths, like any sporting event. If, for example, if you go to the Idaho Falls Chuckers, they have banners all over their outfield wall. They have ads played on the video board during between innings. They have booths set up in the concourse. There's a lot of opportunity for the community and businesses to be able to invest in an event that will last for a weekend, where they can get tons of exposure, and where all the community, college students and community members, citizens of Rexburg themselves, can participate in this event. And that's, if you think about it, sports at its very core is entertainment. And
that's true.
With entertainment
Right.
comes these opportunities for businesses to be able to not only profit from it, but also to be more intertwined in their community. So in order to get a home game here, we'd have to have the school district to be able to loan us their gym for 2 weekends. Businesses, hotels to be able to give us 6 rooms, 7 rooms for the college, for the players and coaches that are coming. And then businesses to be able to fund it and to be able to bring their booths in, bring their flyers in, their banners in, just for 1 weekend.
Yeah.
To be able to get that kind of exposure and to be able to take advantage of a great opportunity.
So they help. They sponsor the weekend. They have the advertising and all that, and the money again goes towards your program. Allows you to have funds to create scholarships as well as travel, and just give these athletes that are up on campus who love basketball, like you love basketball, a chance to entertain, to put the show on. And
get a free education, hopefully.
Yeah,
that's
right.
the hope. And
Yeah.
get a free education while doing it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. What else about Rexburg United? What tell me more about your experiences on the road so far. You've had some great experiences out there. You've played. You listed off a bunch of different colleges that you've played at. How have those gone? How have they been received? It seems like it's gone pretty well.
Yeah, it's gone. So progressively, year by year, we've gotten better. When we started out, the practices there weren't that many practices, and there still aren't, just because our players are full-time students.
Right.
Some of them are parents, some of them are husbands, some of them work full-time jobs. Their first obligation is to something else. So for them, it's more of they're just coming together in the spirit of competition, in the spirit of trying to better oneself, and also to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves at the same time. And make it an unforgettable experience.
Right.
So at the beginning, when it was being formed by Steve Craig, it was kind of this baby that he started, and they played 9 games the first season and second season, and then last year we played 11, and this upcoming year we're playing 12. Up until this past season, we hadn't won a game. Now, there's a big reason for that, right? It's not because we stink at basketball.
Sure.
Number one, those junior colleges have millions of dollars of budget to work with, which turns into scholarships to be able to recruit any athletes in the nation, and which in turn turns to that those kids are there on scholarship getting a free education while being able to dedicate all their free time towards basketball because they're getting paid to do it with a free education.
That's their job. Yeah,
yes,
right.
That's their full-time job.
Right.
Being a student athlete. Whereas here we practice 6 hours a week, whereas they're practicing 6 hours twice a day maybe.
Exactly. Right.
To exaggerate a little.
No, but it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they spend a lot of time in the gym.
Right.
And then we only have 6 hours, 3 days a week where we get together 2-hour practices. And then we go on the road. We're not in as good of condition. We're coming right off a bus, playing games 5 hours later. And it's just a lot different of a program that we have. And the fact that we were able to, for example, our first win was this past year. It was December 7th. It was in Salt Lake. We were playing against Green River College, which is in Seattle. I remember this so vividly because it's a landmark, or it's kind of a milestone in our program, because a group of guys who just came together for the camaraderie, who came together to play competitive basketball and to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves, was able to take something that was kind of not necessarily impossible, but something that's been unheard of, and beat a team full of scholarship athletes who are dedicating every day, every hour to basketball and school. I remember it vividly as well because it was my birthday. So
perfect. Yes.
It was an awesome day, and it was an awesome feeling. And the hope is that we can, in turn, create a very successful program, not only through wins, but also in the sense that we can give back to these athletes that are dedicating time and sacrificing time to something that's kind of bigger than themselves, to where they're sacrificing time to be a good teammate, to be on a team. And I hope to one day kind of reward them for it.
Yeah.
But as for now, that was one of the most amazing experiences for me as a coach and as good friends of a lot of those guys, if not all of them, is that I was just proud of them. I felt like they were doing something. We were doing something that seemed impossible. That we had a college with no sports program. Steve Craig started the program, and then we continued to build on that program, and to actually see results is very satisfying.
I can relate to some of this. I actually in the sports world I don't play ball, but I'm a motorhead, and I race watercraft, and it is hard when you're a full-time business owner, father, husband, involved in the community. We live in Idaho. So many months of the year are frozen, and being a watercraft racer, I can't get out there on the water, so I'm handicapped in some ways when I go to Arizona, California to race, and these guys have been racing year-round.
Absolutely.
All this, you kind of go with a handicap, and so having that support of, yes, we can do the impossible, yes, we can make things happen, and have that community drive and support behind you, I know what that would be like and the importance of that. So talk to me for a minute again about, we get the students together. We're trying to accomplish the impossible, as you said. How would that affect the community? How do you see the success of Rexburg United benefiting the community, and what would you expect to see back?
Absolutely. So something that I've noticed as a student, I like to think of myself as a member of the community now.
Absolutely.
I have a family here, and I'm registered to vote here. So
absolutely.
I feel like
That's right.
I feel like I'm a part of the community here. But also as a student, I kind of see this divide between, like, once you get to First South, Second East, and what's the other one? First West, Second West. There's kind of this divide between the campus and the community itself. And I kind of find it discouraging because, like, for example, there's Facebook pages out there like Life in Rexburg. My wife's on them. I'm not.
Right.
I used to be, but I see all these comments about how students make things hard on the locals, and how it's kind of detrimental to the community, or how it's growing too big because of campus, because they're accepting more and more students every year. And what I've noticed is that sports is something that brings people together. Now, that kind of sounds silly, right? But for those who lived here back when it used to be Rick's College, I'm sure they can remember that those sporting events were obviously one of the major reasons anyone from the community went on campus, unless you worked there.
That's a good point. Sure.
And the university now is trying to get them on campus with things like concerts, for example.
Sure.
But you're not invested in the university when you go to a concert. You're invested in that artist. You're invested in that person who's coming to your venue. Whereas back in the day, when you had kids who were going to the school there to put on this entertainment show, but also a great spectacle of competition, and it brought people in. I remember I have a very good relationship with Trent Shippen, who used to coach at Rick's, played at Rick's, and it was also the BYU women's head coach for a while. And we were talking about it, and he said that it was huge here in the community. And then I feel like one of the major reasons that the relationship between the community and the university has kind of dissipated or soured is because there's no reason for anyone here in the community to go on campus except for the occasional concert or Chick-fil-A.
Right. Okay. Well, so I can see the benefit of what you're trying to bring back to life, if you will, is this connection, a reason to go on campus, a reason to be vested, a reason to show up, a reason to be excited. And yes, it may not be your kids playing, because I think a lot of that, families go to support their teenager or whoever is playing. This may not be that, but you could still be proud of a local organization that's making people better, helping them live their dreams, and as you said, really, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Go for the entertainment more than anything, if that's your excuse. So, but what a good thing to bring back to the community that was once here, and has been lost. And I think that's great that your effort is going that direction. So if we understand what you're saying, in order to make this thing really roll, we've got to have the community support. We've got to have a venue. We've got to have businesses contributing, donating, and supporting, sponsoring your program. And again, between what you're doing and between what Jumpstart's doing, there's some great programs locally that could really benefit the community if we just open up and involve ourselves in them. From what I understand, let's take Jumpstart, for example. Again, they've got 135 or 138 student cap, and they're at 128 or something like that.
Correct.
They're almost full. And so what does that tell you? Well, there's a need. There's parents who care. There's kids who want. And so equally with what you're trying to do, I can only imagine these students that have a great basketball history, they have talent, they just don't have any place to put it, would really involve themselves heavily into what you're trying to do. You just need the ability to make this go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it also, our hope as an organization as well is to give back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
We've had local companies sponsor us before. Summit Spine and Sport Chiropractic, for example, is a perfect example.
Good.
They didn't give us a ton of money, right? Because not many small businesses can. However, they did, and we in turn tried to return the favor in the sense that we helped volunteer at events that they attended. During the summer, there's a lot of opportunities here to go to all these events, for like parades. The Chamber of Commerce puts on a bunch of events. I can't think of any specific ones. Like when the international dancers came last year, I remember last year, they had a booth there, and we were there backing them because they backed us.
Got it. Right.
And they put on an event, for example. I mean, this is probably a shameless plug for them, but I think the 15th, the weekend of Father's Day, they're having their birthday bash. There's going to be a ton of vendors, and that's what we helped with last year. And so if people support us, and it's not to say that I won't support them if they don't support us.
Sure.
But we have 15 guys. We have manpower to be able to provide help in the community.
Right.
Whether it be setting up and taking down for events or whatever it may be.
Being there to answer questions or whatever. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're not saying that you won't support everybody, but you're saying you're loyal to those that sponsor you.
Absolutely.
And that's understandable with any business or any opportunity there. Well, certainly I think that there's room for more entertainment. There's room for more family gatherings. There's room for a little more excitement and some high fives and waving banners and all this kind of great stuff. I think it'd be great. I would love to see what the community has to comment on or reach out to you. How would they get a hold of you, by the way? If they have questions or ideas or they want to support you, how would they get a hold of you?
Absolutely, sir. Our main point of contact is our Facebook page. That's the thing that we keep up to date the most, and that's the thing. That's the way most people in the community have contacted me.
Okay.
That being said, I did make an email for it, but I don't check it very often.
That's fine.
So they can email me personally, or we also, I believe, have the email on our Facebook page.
So what is your Facebook page?
It's the Rexburg United Vikings. So
the Rexburg United Vikings.
I don't think "the" is in the title. So
I
think it's
just
Rexburg United Vikings.
Rexburg United Vikings.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great.
And they can get a hold of me there. The messages go straight to my phone. So it's I want to be able to have a way for the students to be ingrained in this community. Because I love the university. I love this community. My wife and I are going to be here for hopefully a long time. And the hope is that Rexburg United doesn't have to be separate. Right now it's kind of separate of everything. The university doesn't want us. And the community doesn't know about us. And so basically what we're trying to do is to be able to immerse ourselves in the Rexburg community and in turn give the community access to the student population and kind of just intertwine the two.
Yeah.
And that way we can bring back some of the semblance of the Ricks College days, and also at the same time give these students an opportunity to be a part of something bigger, and also hopefully one day grow that opportunity to where they can earn a scholarship for their efforts on that team.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds great. I'm just looking to see if we have any comments or anything here, but that sounds great. So, yeah, look up Rexburg United Vikings and reach out to Todd and just see what's possible. I think anything's possible if we really want to do it. I mean, really.
No, absolutely.
Anything's possible. And I think that what you're trying to do has a lot of value to it with the entertainment aspect, the involvement aspect, the excitement. I mean, what if, right? What if a team could be created and built to where no one saw it coming, but it was the coolest thing, that this Mission Impossible made possible. I think that's a wonderful thing. And now you're going to be here for a while. You're not leaving in 6 months or anything.
Oh, no.
So you're vested into this to make it work, to make it alive, to make it something that can be left for future generations too. You're hoping to get the ball rolling that will stay rolling and take the place of just something that's missing, this spirit of Rick's, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be exactly the same thing, but the idea, the concept of something local that's tangible, that's supported, and has long-term benefits. You're trying to create this in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Just have a quality product to be able to have the community rally around.
Perfect. I like that. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we go? We got just a couple minutes left. I really like where you're going with this. I love Jumpstart and how you are working with them. In fact, you said real quick, that a lot of the players that you work with on campus are teaching and coaching the kids at Jumpstart.
Absolutely, yeah. So Sean McDonald, who was on last week, constantly, whenever he needs a new coach to be able to help out, is reaching out to me to ask my players to come help him coach those kids. So in a sense, we're already giving back to the community in the sense that these players are developing skills that are then benefiting directly to the community through way of Jumpstart. And not only that, in the future I am planning, for example, camps for kids to be able to attend where our players would be able to do like 1 or 2 days or a day camp to where they can learn from athletes who have played at the collegiate level, and then as well 3v3 tournaments for the community. I'm working on one right now, hopefully to be held at the Zone, to be able to kind of fundraise for us, but also to be able to throw on a 3v3 tournament event for the community.
Nice.
And
yeah.
Those things are very well received here
Good.
in Idaho, so hopefully we can get the ball rolling with that as well.
Well, we appreciate you, Todd. Thank you so much for coming on. I think it's a great program. I think it's a great use of talent from the college that you're trying to turn into a community benefit. Why not? I think it's a great thing. Why not? It can only be a good thing.
Absolutely. And if any community members or businesses would like to sponsor our team, I just want it very known that it is tax exempt, or you're able to write it off in your taxes because we are a non-for-profit. So any donation you make not only can be helpful to us, but it can also be a tax break for any local businesses here. And we would love your support, and we will support you till the end if you're able to support us. So,
well, if other colleges are willing to help pay the cost to bring you to play them, there's something worth us supporting you to get you there as well. I think that's a great thing. Rexburg, thank you for tuning in today to The Hustle. We appreciate you. Please share, like, and love our show. We expect that you'll be here next week. We have another great show coming up, and we look forward to that. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.